Well, good evening, kids. Welcome to the weekly episode of The Abyss, episode 43. I'm your host, The Eternal Abyss. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing fantastic. I hope everyone can hear me okay and everything is working as expected. I think so. I think we're up and running here. I'm a minute or two early. I thought I'd just get things rolling here. As mentioned in the past, just to give everyone a bit of a reiteration about what the weekly stream is about. Since we do the morning streams now, we just talk about the news and react to it and talk a little bit about what's happening with social media trends and things of that nature. The weekly stream is a bit less formal. We're going to talk about some news items, but I also invite people to participate. We're going to talk with chat in the different chats here on all the different platforms that I'm streaming on. So first of all, let me greet everyone on all the different platforms. Hi, Mom Patch, and everyone on Bitwave. Bitwave has its own SPCC now. Nice. Well, that is cool. But hello, everyone on Bitwave. I want to greet everyone there. I also want to say hello to everyone on YouTube. For anyone that's watching on YouTube, Periscope, for anyone that's watching on Periscope, and D Live as well. Welcome to the Abyss. So right off the bat, for those that missed the morning stream, this morning at 8:30 a.m., the Epstein Madam, breaking news, has been arrested by the FBI. Hot damn. Quite the wake up, huh? So there's still not a whole lot of news coming out of this. There's not a whole lot of new information between this morning and now. I'm looking at some of the articles that are coming out. This one article was updated 15 minutes ago from NBC New York, and it seems like she's been arrested on sex abuse charges. And I'm gonna get this in right now. Ghislaine Maxwell didn't kill herself. So just want to get that out there. Also, one thing I do want to mention before I proceed with the stream is I did go kind of long in my morning stream, so I don't know if I plan to go very long. Nexus found long lost Kitty's bro. Oh wow, he does like Kitty. He does look a lot like Kitty, doesn't he? I wonder whatever happened to Kitty. He was quite the character. But anyways, going back to my stream here. I want to try and stay focused. I was just drinking something here. I have a little bit of fluids. Anyone that wants to come into the chat, call in. You can. Very easy. Just go to Discord. And in the description, in the video description, you'll see a Discord link. So just go ahead and you guys can go into the waiting room there, and I'll put you on if you want to express your opinion on the news of the day, want to ask me a question, things like that. If we just kind of like a radio show, taking some callers, and see what happens, and talk about the topics that we're discussing, things like that. He really does look like Kitty's long lost brother. It's pretty crazy. For those that may not know, that are watching, that don't know who I'm talking about when it comes to Kitty, Kitty Styles was an individual who would be defined as a lol cow, as someone who streamed daily because that's what his job was, according to him. He didn't want to actually work. And on top of that, one second, let me make a quick adjustment to my mic here. There we go. he would abuse everybody that he spoke to. He would abuse his users and followers, and he would also just, um, the more you learned about this individual, the more like very bad stuff you learned about him. He wasn't a particularly pleasant person or nice person. He did a lot of terrible things in his past as well. So, um, and when anybody would want try to provide anything constructive to him, he would just lash back and attack. So that's why he was essentially called a lolcow. So essentially, that's what was going on with Kitty. So I just wanted to bring people up to date in case some people are not familiar with who this online personality is. I don't know what happened to him. He disappeared because he was about to become homeless a while ago. And he's from Denmark as well, so who knows? I have no idea what happened to him. So that's the story of Kitty. But yeah, that's the biggest news that's happening today. The news media has been. I haven't really been looking at the TV news, so I don't know how strongly CNN and Fox News or MSNBC or any of the local channels are really covering this sort of thing. But I have seen it on different news outlets online. I'm surprised it's not like front page news though. That's the thing. I haven't seen any like. It's pretty amazing to me. Like the only front page news is Daily Mail right now, unless the I mean last I checked it wasn't. Let me check the other news outlets real quick here. I'll check Fox News. Nope. Fox News does not even have it as. Wow, I'm actually shocked that they don't even have it as their like, because Fox News has their main article, and then they have these 4 sub articles, and then they have a list of other news items. They don't have it in those major 5. That's pretty amazing to me. I mean, I'm not even seeing it in the list anymore. What happened here? Let me do a quick search. Wow, really? They're only talking about that the co-author of Epstein's book calls Ghislaine Maxwell arrest the biggest story related to the notorious case yet. They're not even talking about the actual arrest. Unbelievable. I'm shocked that Fox News is not even on the page, really. It's like not a big deal at all. Let's see what there's trending Ghislaine Maxwell on CNN. And they just have it in the corner, news and buzz. Oh my freaking lord. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. This is unbelievable. But they're fact checking memes though. That's because that's important. You have to fact check the memes that like Donald Trump Jr. posted, because that's newsworthy right there. For the love of God. All right, I'll give MSNBC a fair shake. Let's see what they say here. Okay, they have it on the front page. Okay, kudos to MSNBC. They actually have it on the front page as a front page like news item, not the main one, because the main one is about a tell-all book on Trump about his wealth. Because wow. I mean, still, it's not the Daily Mail, like almost a tabloidish newspaper for those that aren't familiar with the Daily Mail, they have it on their front page. Not so much the other news items. Fox News doesn't even have it at all. CNN barely just a little blip and just that it's trending. That's it. What in the world? This is like a huge news item. Yet somehow, well, no, nobody gives a rat's ass apparently. I mean, it's not even trending in Twitter. It's not even trending in Twitter. Huh. But anyways, moving on. Uh, Hugh Downs passed away at the ripe old age of 99. I didn't even realize that. I didn't know that was his age. I didn't realize that he had such longevity. He retired a while ago. I didn't see him in the news cycles anymore in terms of presenting anything. So I had no idea what had happened to him. And now, well, he's joined the choir invisible. So that's interesting. So I thought I'd throw out that little news bit as well. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a sip of my drink here. I had planned on showing some like FIFA 19 or like FIFA 19 while I was talking, just to, because that, like I said, this is just something casual that I'm doing more so in the weeklies. I plan on doing and seeing what else I can do for these weekly streams to change it up from the morning streams, because I don't want to do two of the exact same streams essentially just in the same day. One happens to be in the morning, one happens to be in the evening. So we may formalize a couple things, change a couple things up, maybe turn this into a half gaming, half talking, half just shooting the breeze kind of thing. Or maybe even try and do some higher production value items there. So any support that you can do to help my stream, that's greatly appreciated. Go to streamlabs.com. I can't talk. Streamlabs.com/the-eternal-abyss. Any level of generosity is appreciated, and follow and support. Go to all the social media account, Twitter, Parlor, Minds, and Gab, as well as YouTube, DLive. Wave right here. Follow and subscribe. Hit the notification bells so you know when I go live. Another interesting news item that I want to just briefly talk about today is a kind of an update on the COVID situation. I haven't really talked too much about it, mostly because it's kind of not dominated. It has dominated. I mean, the news cycle. It's always in the news cycle. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's kind of taken a different spin, because all that the news media is doing with it, from what I see, is they're mostly spinning their wheels on it. They're just saying the same stuff over and over. They're just talking about the numbers, all that kind of stuff. And they're not providing a lot of context to said numbers. So there's been some spikes here and there, which was predicted. Of course, the numbers of the spikes and the predictions were incorrect. And a lot of this happened a couple weeks after all the protests. So, surprise, surprise there. And Governor Abbot of Texas, he has put forth a mandate to wear masks now. And you have people already like politicizing this thing. They're already taking sides. You have people on the far right or what have you that are wanting to sue the governor. They're wanting to say, go through that whole thing. You have people on the left that are like, oh, he's killing people, he should have done that sooner, blah blah blah. There's going to be criticisms on both sides of the aisle. My take on this is this: I've always said I don't really particularly care if people wear a mask or not, in the sense that if governors and mayors or what have you want people to wear masks and put that as a guideline or some sort of mandate, as they're saying, they can do that. But the problem is the politicization of it. The problem is using that as a weapon against those that uh that don't want to obey the order. Basically, it's using it as a weapon against conservatives. And that's true as well. You know, what you're saying, Mompesh. Fauci admitted masks are little more than symbols virtue signaling. New England Journal of Medicine. It's true. It's actually kind of true because many masks, if you look at the boxes themselves, they're not rated for COVID-19. They don't filter for such small micron viruses. They only do like zero point 0.3, and the COVID virus is, I think, 0.19, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. It's smaller than 0.3. So the point is, a mask won't really help much. I think that if people want to wear masks or gloves, if they want to feel protected that way, then I say it's a personal decision at that point. If it makes you feel better, wear it. If the government wants to use that to persecute people, that's where I have a problem with it. Because I don't think the government has that authority. Especially when it comes to masks. Like, I don't think the governors have the powers to do so. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is this too. So there was this. Speaking of COVID, there was this whole. Let's see if it's still. I wonder if it's still there with Cavuto. Yeah, it seems like the trend is still there with Neil Cavuto of Fox News. Kermit the Frog, as I call him. The guy's a moron, generally speaking. So he argued with the Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs. Um, and of course, he skewed numbers, lied about hospitalization numbers, things of that nature. But the thing that Neil Cavuto was talking about was the fact that Andy Biggs was calling for kind of the removal of Fauci and Biggs and Dr. Biggs and the kind of the commission. He doesn't feel that the commission is really needed anymore at this point. And there's a bit of an argument to be made there. And you have the left going crazy, going, "Oh, Cavuto's making Trump supporters angry because he's talking about truth, science, facts, whatever." My only question for the left when it comes to Cavuto is this, and I would even ask Neil Cavuto this: which predictions have Fauci made that actually were right? I have yet to find, and maybe it's just me, I have yet to find a prediction that Cavuto made that turned out to be true. I mean, chat, is it just me? I don't even, I mean, am I just missing something here? It seems to me that Fauci's predictions have been wrong since day one. The models that they used have been wrong since day one. Well, there has been some news about a second virus coming out of China. I don't know if it's gonna be the same sort of deal like COVID. It may not. Apparently, it comes from pigs this time. I don't even know anymore what to think. If that is true, if there's another virus coming out of China, we need to just tell China to go jump off a lake, lock everything down. It's a new swine flu. Yeah. And so they need to just lock China down. Don't import anything. Completely isolate them, barricade them. Get them out of the way, and every country in the world should do the same. At this point, I mean, if China can't control what's going on in their country, assuming this is all legit, okay, I'm making the assumption that this is legit because I don't know. I haven't heard any more news about. I saw one article. I saw some articles about it, and that's it. I haven't seen much more from that. But let's say this is legit and something new is coming. China should just f off, frankly, in this particular scenario, and we should just tell them, you know what, you're on your own. You got you contain it, you keep it there, you don't bring it out of that country, out of your borders. You keep it within your borders. Period. You do what you need to do, and we enforce it. Every country around China should enforce it. And every airline company should just stop flights from China. Every transport of goods should stop any sort of transport of goods between China and other countries if this is the case. Because this is ridiculous that the world is already crippled because of one virus, and if this is true that another swine flu is coming that's going to cause another sort of pandemic, screw that. No more Mr. Nice World, basically. Political correctness thrown out the window at that stage. I say this is just dumb. But going back to the mask thing, see, to me, like I was saying, I think if it makes people feel better, great, fine, do it. I'm not gonna tell someone you shouldn't wear a mask. All I would say is I don't think it's right for governors and politicians to weaponize it. I don't think it's correct for government entities and elected officials to use that to attack people, remove their licenses for practicing their job or their businesses, or using it to extend an economic slowdown because they wanted to use it for an election. Yeah, and even the K95, even the N95s. That's the thing. I've looked at some of those N95 masks, and even some of them on their packages don't necessarily say that they're good for COVID. So I don't even know what the reality is anymore of that. But assuming the N95 masks are still like the best bet, okay, fine. You're not gonna have enough for everybody on this planet. And anything that's not at least an N95, yeah, anything that's at least not at least an N95, it's not worth wearing. Like putting a fabric over your face, what's that gonna do? KN95, that's different from just N95, or like I don't know the distinctions. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know all the specific distinctions between the different masks. Like I know there's all sorts of different ratings for them. I know a few. I know like very vaguely just a few of them because of this whole COVID nonsense that's been happening. But beyond that, um, I was looking it up one time, and there's a good amount of different ratings for them. So it is what it is when it comes to the mask. But the point is, I just don't, I don't know. I think that me personally, I know what kind of underlying conditions I have, for example, if any. So I think I'm a relatively low risk individual. So if I happen to catch it, I'm not incredibly concerned. But so far, I think that as long as you just keep away from people, just keep doing what you need to do in terms of like the social distancing and all that. And my issue again has more to do with what the government does if someone doesn't want to comply. Oh, okay, so it is different. Oh, okay. Thank you, Troll, for verifying that. See, I figured it was different from just the regular N95 masks. So K95 mask is a one category above that. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, yeah. So in that case, if it's one level above, if it's one notch above the regular N95 mask, then I say sure. That would probably be your best bet. And if you're gonna wear a mask, you wear something that actually has the filtering for such tiny microns that is for such a virus, like COVID-19 in this particular case. Yeah, and see, and this is the thing, Mom Patchett, that since you mentioned that now California has been closed again for the holiday weekend, I mean, you have these blue states like California, Michigan, New York. Um, you do see a downward trend. I'm not gonna say that the numbers don't really matter. You do see a downward trend, but these states have been the most aggressive in forcing people to wear masks, in restricting people's civil rights. New York City specifically was a federal judge said that they were unfairly, unconstitutionally attacking Christians and Jews basically for wanting to congregate while letting protests run willy nilly. Okay, and that's the biggest thing too. Is like when it's convenient for them, when it's okay with them because it's some cause that they believe in, they're perfectly fine with letting people run around without masks and not social distancing. But when it comes to like people that just want to worship, go to church and pray. No, 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 no. We can't have that. We can't have 20 people in a church or 30 people in a church, but we could have thousands of people out in the streets breaking statues, rioting, setting buildings on fire, things of that nature. Right? Right. Uh-huh. So I'm sorry. See, to me, it's pretty painfully obvious that this is a lot of their decisions are politically motivated. They just are. There's no doubt about that. So I'm gonna open up a bottle of water here. One moment. Yeah, exactly, Mom Patch. It's all fine and dandy for LA to have 20,000 people rioting in the streets and protesting, but you can't have 20,000 people for a 4th of July celebration. Because somehow celebrating spreads the virus faster, I guess. That's maybe their logic. I have no idea. I really have no idea. I don't know what to tell you. It's really mind-boggling to me. Um, I wanted to like I said, I think I mentioned this right at the beginning of the stream. I wanted to maybe put up like some gaming stuff or whatever while I was talking here, but I want to put up FIFA 19 and I somehow accidentally deleted it off my Xbox, so I'm reinstalling it right now. Let me throw let me see if yeah, because the virus knows the difference between a just cause rioter, quote unquote, a righteous cause rioter, and someone who just wants to go to church or he wants to go and celebrate Independence Day, right? No, boy, oh boy. I swear. I mean, the stuff that you hear is like I can't even take the stuff that I hear seriously anymore because it's so absurd. It's so absurd what you hear in the news now and in social media. It's just absolutely absurd. And I actually didn't even have my headphones on, so I can't even hear myself. Let's see. Here we go. Now I can hear myself. Haha. um Actually, let me check something here on my microphone because I just remembered I may have turned my filters. No, my filters are on. Good. All right. Just want to make sure. Um let's see here. Yeah, I mean, let's see if this will work. I've been experimenting actually with streaming from not experimenting, but I've been putting the Xbox gaming stuff onto my PC here because there's the Xbox app that allows you to do that. So I thought maybe it would be interesting to see if I can stream this window. And who knows? If this works. Let's see here. I have no idea if this is gonna work properly or not, so I'm just gonna give this a try right here live. We're gonna try to boomer things up. Okay. Because why not? What are we doing here? That doesn't seem to work. What's happening here? Whoops. Hold up. Nope, that's the background image. What happens if you do automatic? Well, I think this is going to be a failure. I'm not seeing how this is functioning here. Man, OBS is so particular about this kind of thing. That's the thing. I use OBS as my app, but that's no like major secret or anything like that. But that's a shame. I was hoping that it would work. No, I'm not. I'm not seeing this. Oh well. I guess we're gonna have to experiment with this some other time. Because I do have an external video card that I can use for that. See, now that's working. That makes no sense. But if I'm actually trying to stream the game, that doesn't work. Oh, wait a minute. It is working. Oh, hey, look at that. It actually does appear to be working. Well, let's make a quick adjustment here. There we go. Haha! Victory is mine. Let me get the Bitwave chat here. I'm just taking a look here at what chat is saying. So the KN95 is a Chinese standard for an N95, but if you purchase it from an American janitorial service, it is the highest quality of basic face mask. Yeah, sure. Whoa. Hello. Okay. Um. Well, actually, let me check something here. Oh, sorry. One moment. I'm gonna have to get up and check something out real quick. See if this works. Because I was gonna connect here the controller to my PC directly, but yeah, I mean, why should I? All I need to, I'm not playing on my laptop. I'm just showing what I'm doing. That's all. Cool. So this does work. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. All right, so let's rock. And I can have chat up and talk at the same time. You're selling the BN95 version on Bitwave. That's right, Bitwave does sell masks. That's true. That is absolutely true. What's this? Recent transfer request. I forgot I even did something like that, but oh, who cares? I'm not gonna I'm not worried about that right now. Let's just why is there a second controller here? That's interesting. Is it the laptop? I wonder if it's the laptop. Huh. I wonder. Actually, now that's a good question. You guys don't hear any game audio, do you? I don't think I'm getting any audio here. Ah, this is why. Let me change that. There we go. I'll lower the volume a little bit here so you guys can hear me talk. So yeah, we're just gonna have a little bit of some game fun here and talk politics. And if people want to call in, like I said, you guys can join the Discord and we can have a little chit chat.
Well, despite the pre-season nature,
wait, has the screen? What's going on here?
So far, and we've reached the semi-finals. They've been very enjoyable.
It has been. We've seen some good football, and neither of these sides will want to duck out of the competition.
There we go. I guess the screen pauses if it's not looking at it directly. Oh, this is a final? Oh no, it's a semi-final. Okay, cool. All right.
Focusing on has made a bit of a splash in the media, hasn't he, by voicing his discontent at this club, and he says he wants to go somewhere else, a new challenge.
You never know whether he's been tapped up behind the scenes. We think it's illegal, but it happens all the time, and maybe he thinks the grass is greener elsewhere, but this team will miss him.
3 changes for Barcelona. Marc-Andre ter Stegen starts in goal. Leon Goretzka starts, looking to continue his great form in midfield. It's good to see them going with 2 strikers today.
There we go.
Here's Hoffenheim's team for
I am in position.
Well, it looks like all hands to the defensive pump. At least they've got 2 forwards.
Yes, and hopefully they will get some service, but it is capable, this shape, of being pretty negative.
The shot's on!
Oh, that was a terrible shot.
I think from that position, and he's not close.
He never looked up there to see if he had a pass on.
Terrible shot.
From the manager, but by the same token, his team are playing well. They might have gone ahead there, but they'll get another chance.
Anyways, I haven't played FIFA on stream in quite a while. Actually, it's been a while, hasn't it? But in terms of news items, like everything that I talked about this morning is essentially what I spoke about. Is there's not really a whole lot going on today since we already covered a lot of it. Let me pause here for a moment. And like I said, the stream that I did this morning was incredibly long, so I don't know if I want to go and you know, make this an incredibly long stream as well, because that one was already, I mean, we're already at 47 minutes here, and the other stream this morning was over 2 hours. Excuse me, drinking some water here. But actually, you know, let's take a quick look at something here before I continue. We'll just remove that for now. So that worked. That little experiment worked here. So I'm pleased about that. So maybe I can get this to work the way I want to. And you guys can hear it. So I think that's good. That's really, really good. Oh, Wrong window. Hold up. Here we go. So there seems to be some more trends popping up here, like regarding Vindman, for example. It seems like a Democrat senator is actually blocking military confirmations until Esper proves Vindman will be promoted. See, can you even do that? I don't think you can do that. Like, why should he be promoted? He was a traitor. He had a policy difference with a president. And he used that as an attack to try and get this president impeached because he just happened to not agree with the policy. And now you have Democrat senators who are abusing their power, blocking military confirmations until this Vindman is going to be promoted. Vindman should be dishonorably discharged. And if not dishonorably discharged, he should just get fired, period. He should not be working where he's working, and he should not get any promotions based off of his actions and words. He was petty, childish, and did not have the best interest of the United States at heart in his actions. Simple. It seems like the Clintons are trending as well. There's just a tweet here by Robert Barnes retweeting Susan Rice talking about suicide awareness, and he says, Clinton ally sends friendly messages to Ghislaine Maxwell. So, this whole Ghislaine Maxwell thing, going back to it, actually, there's probably more to be said about this. I mean, she was a pretty key figure. She saw everything that happened on those planes. She saw all the people that went in and out. She procured the minors. She procured these abusers with fodder. She helped them do their disgusting stuff that they did. So I think that there's already talk that for her to try and cut a deal, she's going to drop some big names. I think the only deal that should ever be cut with her is that, you give us every single name and every single person, and then we'll worry about, the deal. We'll worry about getting you maybe a shorter sentence, but not even, because she deserves to spend life in jail if she was procuring minors to pedophiles like Epstein. I don't think that she should be just let off scot-free. I also think that they really, 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 really need to be careful with her, in the sense that, in the sense that you don't want to have the situation that you had with Epstein himself, that he was basically killed in the hands of the authorities. And he didn't commit suicide. Everybody knows he didn't commit suicide. So, if I was in charge of this, what I would do is she would be under lock and key 24/7, isolation, separate from everybody. You would have redundant cameras recording everything. You would have guards on her 24/7, and I mean, you would have 4 guards at a time. You would have like a double buddy system. Nobody's to be alone around her. At all. And nobody goes in, nobody goes out without being, verified. You don't mess around with this. I have a feeling, and I hope this isn't the case, but I have a feeling that she's gonna end up like Epstein. I have a feeling that somehow she's gonna end up suicide, quote unquote, committing suicide, and all these elites that she could expose are gonna get away scot-free. I really think they need to take not only precautions, but they need to really step it up and go the extra mile. Take it to an extreme if you have to. Just ensure that nothing happens to her at all. 24-hour, no, not 24-hour. I have my weekly stream on Thursdays, that's all. So that's all. That's what it is. It's my weekly stream on Thursdays. There's a distinct possibility that that's going to happen, Spooks. I really hope it doesn't, though, because I really hope it doesn't happen. This is an opportunity, like with Epstein. It was an opportunity to really expose all these disgusting pedophile elites that are in the country, like in control of our country, and it's about time that these people get exposed. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care at all. It needs to happen. Hey, Golden Gambler, thank you for watching the stream here on YouTube. I'm not sure. I don't even understand why she went to New Hampshire, actually. That's a good question. Golden Gambler asks, why do you think she got arrested in New Hampshire? She was in a country that wasn't going to extradite her. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that she would come to the United States where she was going to get arrested. It is a little confusing to me why she would put herself in that situation. So there's only two possibilities. One possibility is that wherever she was threatened that she was going to get killed. She was in a greater danger where she currently was to instead decide to come back here to the United States and get arrested and maybe fare better here. So, or the other possibility is that she's just not that bright, but I don't think that's the possibility, because for being the right hand person of Epstein, acting as a pimp and a madam, that requires at least a certain level of organization. So I imagine that she must have been in some greater danger. So there was some other threat to her or something that pushed her to come here. I would imagine that she's smart. I don't know about super smart, but she's smart enough to have gotten away with what she's done for a very long time. And she's she's obviously someone who lives in wealth and well-to-do. And she's hasn't squandered her wealth. So she's probably gonna tie this up in courts, which if you have money and influence and power to an extent, because she's a English heiress, she's gonna have money to burn. And she has leverage, she has names, she has information, she has what we want. And it's cool, I commend AG Barr and the FBI in this scenario for nabbing her, and hopefully there will be an exposure. Hopefully information will come out. Hopefully we'll see some of these scumbuckets, elites in the Senate, Congress, past presidents, perhaps things of that nature. Hopefully, they will be, or maybe even a possible Supreme Court justice. That there happens to be a name that's the same on the of a person that's in our Supreme Court, but who knows if it's the same guy or not? She would know. We have to see. We have to see what comes out of this. So I have to wonder what's gonna happen next. If she's going to get killed or not. I haven't heard about what precautions are going to be taken for that. I haven't heard if she's going to be isolated or not. I haven't heard. There hasn't been any news on this. It hasn't even been 24 hours that she's been arrested. So unfortunately, there's very, very little to go on in terms of information. Yes, I'm the Eternal Abyss, not the Eternal Israel. I don't know what you're talking about, Troll, but I am back for the weekly stream. Yes. And I'm parched, so I'm drinking a lot of water, so please excuse the pauses and slurping. But with the Thursday streams, if someone wants to come in and say a few words about the topics of the day that we're talking about, like about this, you have any opinion? Yeah, if you have any opinion on this arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell, if you have any opinion on this whole Epstein debacle, if you have an opinion on the order that Greg Abbot put forth for wearing masks, things of that nature, hop into the waiting room and DLive, and I'll give you a couple minutes to hop on, say your piece, and we'll do something fun and interactive this way. So if we have anybody that wants to call in, the description, the link is in the description to join the Discord. This is going to be through Discord. Just make sure you have a working microphone and everything. And my only rule is, to just don't get me banned. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Periscope, I'm on DLive, and those platforms do have certain terms of service, and all I ask is to just be considerate of me. That may be a hard ask for some people, but what can I say? And if there is any news that comes up while we're talking here, I mean, I'm going to be more than happy to cover it, of course. But there's pictures also going around the internet about her that she participated in the Clintons' weddings. Yep, Chelsea Clinton's reception. She was there, ceremony and such. So, I mean, the Clintons and Epstein's being close is nothing new. This is old news. It's like really, really old news. There's nothing new about that. I'm just waiting to see if anything else comes up. Another thing that came up here actually that I haven't mentioned is that in terms of the COVID chat that we were talking about, is that I think Herman Cain was diagnosed with it. He caught it, if I read correctly here. So yeah, you got that. And you do have an increase in testing that's happening. I think we're up to 500,000 tests a day here in the United States. So that is also affecting numbers when it comes to COVID. And it comes with different, that data will obviously be skewed in different ways, because some groups are going to say, oh look, there's so many new COVID cases, when actually it's not necessarily the COVID case number that should be looked at, but more so the death, the mortality rate that happens with the COVID. So if you could get skyrocketing numbers, but if the deaths are actually declining, that trend, and we talked about this in my previous stream, I showed a graph showing that there's a definite decline in the trend of deaths caused by COVID, then I wouldn't be too incredibly concerned about large numbers coming up, because with the amount of testing that we're doing, yeah, you're gonna see spikes. Then you're gonna also have this, the ridiculous riots that happen. That's gonna cause spikes because I don't think rioters really cared about wearing masks and social distancing and all that kind of stuff. So it's like whatever. It is what it is. And we need to get our country back on track. We need to get the economy rolling again. We need to take the proper steps and precautions to get this all up and running. That's all we need to do. Really. That's what it boils down to. I think that the politicizing of a pandemic is probably one of the most disgusting things I've seen in modern politics. Frankly, and I'm talking about both sides of the aisle here. There's been a huge amount of politicization of this whole thing, and it's been nothing short of sickening. Both sides are being completely idiotic about this whole thing. But the left more so, in my opinion. The left has been dangerously political about this. I mean, denying care because you don't like Trump, like in the case of Whitmer, I mean, that's just completely unacceptable. Just completely unacceptable. I can't even put in words how disgusting it is that someone would want to ban care because you don't like someone who happens to be elected. Oh no, G. Gallon. If Biden somehow wins, the economy is gonna be a disaster. I can promise you. I'm no economist, but you already had a very, very poor recovery under Obama and Biden when they were president and vice president, respectively. The only reason our economy has been booming, and even during this pandemic, the markets have been doing relatively well, is because Trump is in the White House. Our prosperity as a country very much depends on Trump winning this election cycle. The question to me isn't so much that. The question to me is, once this election cycle is over, the structures and policies and changes that are made while the Republicans have had some influence here and Trump has been president, if indeed they have long-term positive consequences, how do we ensure? I don't think Styx is correct on that one. I don't think Styx is correct on that, because clearly during the Obama-Biden years, our economy, there was little faith in our economy. There was a lot of shutdown of different sectors because the government decided they were going to pick winners and losers. If Biden gets into office, what's going to happen is you're going to have the radical left contingent of the Democrat Party, namely the Ocasio-Cortezes of the party and the Ilhan Omars, and all the people that were on stage that were pushing socialist, communist policies. They're going to have the ability to actually implement with near impunity their policies, because it's the executive branch that sets the policies and sets the agenda. So what's going to happen is you're going to have two things happen. You're going to have this radical contingent just wreak havoc on the agenda and policies that are going to be set forth. On top of that, depending on the majorities and minorities in the House and the Senate, you're either going to have a lot of these things passed or partially passed. There's going to be fighting, but I don't know if there's going to be a blockade of sorts when it comes to these socialist policies and agendas that are being put forth. So I have a real fear that no matter what, if there isn't a fundamental like change now, apart from the election that we have now, if we don't have someone to counteract what the left wants to do, at minimum, you're gonna get a percentage of laws, policies, and government programs that are going to be socialist, because that is essentially the goal of the Democrats at this point. They've pretty much said so. In one form or another, that's what they've done. And this isn't a secret. This isn't anything, insightful or crazy or, conspiratorial. They have pretty much said so. They want to expand Medicare to do Medicare for all. So they want to have a single payer system, essentially. They want government to have much greater control over industries and properties, and they did healthcare as a tax, which was unconstitutional, and John Roberts decided to rewrite law to make it passable according to the Constitution. So it's a mess of a situation. We have been defeated in what way? What are you talking about? Badass. Hi, by the way, thanks for watching the stream. What are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I think that in terms of Trump winning, I think there's a distinct possibility that he'll win. I don't think that the election is that crazy. For like, I don't think it's far fetched that he's gonna win, because I can tell you, just from like the enthusiasm of people that I know that are on the left, there is very little faith in Biden. There's very little excitement about Biden. Everybody thinks that this was a horrible decision by the DNC. And everybody thinks that that's basically handing the election over to Trump. So, well, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter. I say it does matter because, and here's my theory. If it didn't matter, the media would not try and attack Trump. There's gonna be voter fraud, of course, which that's, to me, that was one of the big mistakes I feel that Trump did. I feel that Trump should have taken care of voter ID, election integrity from the very beginning. A lot of mail-in ballots people are already fighting them right now in the different states. So I don't know how much of an influence that's going to have, but there's definitely going to be an attempt at voter fraud. And there's definitely going to be an attempt to try and just steal the election, because Democrats stealing elections isn't anything new. They did it with John F. Kennedy back when he was elected. They did voter fraud. There was a bunch of votes that belonged to dead people that went to John F. Kennedy, and that made him win. But going back to what I was saying, sorry, I was just sipping some water there. I think, yeah, I saw that, troll. I haven't really addressed it because I'm sorry, you're stupid. If you're gonna do a stabbing threat, um, you're gonna get a consequence of that. But I'll look at that in just a moment. I'll finish up my point and then we'll talk about that. So the only reason why I think it matters, and I don't think that this is all for show, is because if it really didn't matter at the end of the day, the media would not be attacking Trump so hard. It wouldn't be attacking conservatives so hard. The big tech would not be censoring conservatives left and right. Which, by the way, streamlabs.com/the eternal abyss. Please help out. Any level of generosity is appreciated. Well, boomers are part of the problem. The baby boomer generation, they've really messed things up. In my opinion, I feel that they have been probably the worst generation in terms of going from one generation to the next, which created this kind of cascade effect like that has hurt the future generations. Then, like, I haven't seen in history a generation that caused so much like despair and problems for the next 1, 2, 3 generations after them. They really mess things up, and it's kind of mind-boggling. But I feel that the elections do matter. I feel that the people in power do matter, and I think that this country is coming to an impasse. I feel that it's coming to an impasse where we really need to examine the parties that are in power. We need to really examine the people themselves, the elites that are in power. We really need to re-strengthen the checks and balances which made this country what it is. You're right. They won't give up power, and that's why they're running Biden. That you're absolutely right on that. They are running. They tried it with Hillary Clinton. They trying it again with Biden. They tried, and even Bernie was trying it, even though he's a communist basically. He's a socialist communist, nutcase. That generation does not want to give up power. And I think what needs to happen, and you are seeing a shift. You are seeing these 3-term, 4-term, 5-term senators and congressmen that are being ousted by younger generations. Just collecting my thoughts here for a moment, and I'm replying to a text actually that I'm getting. Sorry. No, so what I was saying was, you have seen this interesting trend where people that had these incumbents that have been around for like different generations, have been not generations that have been around for different terms, have been ousted by younger counterparts in their same party. So there is a bit of awakening up happening where these conservative and energetic younger generation of politicians are ousting these old dinosaurs. The eternal texter. Sorry. I know I shouldn't be texting on screen, but I got on stream. I got some text that I needed to reply to. That's all. So So, um, I gotta put the phone down. I gotta put my foot down here and put the phone down. No, but basically, I think that there is a bit of awakening up. That's an awakening that's happening. I do feel that there is some changes that are occurring in how politics are viewed. I feel that in some small ways, someone revealed their phone on stream. Get out, really? Who did that? Who? I'm curious now. No, but I feel that in some small ways, you're seeing like some of these threads of like this grip that these elites have in politics. I'm seeing some slight de-threading happening here and there. It's not anything radical and it's not anything like massive. I don't think there's going to be a giant wave of change that's going to happen. But I do feel that little by little you're seeing some small changes here that provide a glimmer of hope and a glimmer of light. But then at the same time, you also have people like AOC that got into office, who ousted a incumbent, and just look how stupid she is. And she won her primary. I mean, I can't understand stuff like that. You listen to this woman over and over and over say the most moronic, idiotic, stupidest things on this planet, and they vote her in. Well, I mean, at least they passed. I mean, it was a Democrat primary, so I don't have much faith in the fact that they chose her. It doesn't surprise me. So we'll see if they actually do elect her again when November comes around. But well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Well, their email, it was yeah. Well, you got to be careful with that stuff, putting your phone on stream or email or anything like that. That's why I try to avoid that kind of stuff. I don't think it's wise. I don't think so. But anyways, I think, at this point, I've been streaming for over an hour. It's about an hour and 20 minutes at this point. I think we covered a good amount of conversation here, some of the major news items, and the lines were open. If anybody wanted to join, they could. And I think I will call it a day. It was a very long stream that I did this morning. I don't know if what they say is irrelevant. I think the fact that AOC, for example, is like one of Biden's advisors, that is scary to me. Okay, you can't have someone that stupid with any sort of power to actually influence stuff. She has got. I just cannot believe how stupid this woman is, and I cannot believe that people actually put her in a position where she could actually do so much harm. It's, oh god, I mean, just thinking about it makes my brain hurts. It actually makes me speak incorrect English. It makes my brain hurt. It makes my brain hurt to think how stupid she is. My brain starts just losing its mind. Because this woman just does not have two neurons to rub together. And they primary her again. What the hell? I cannot. How does it? The question that comes to my mind is, how do the people that lost to her in the primaries feel? I mean, how bad do you need to? These people should be on suicide watch. Yeah, it's all about the feels. That's true. It's not about whether the policy is sound. It doesn't matter if there's any sound science behind it. It's just about only how people feel. That's all. That's it. And that's the biggest. That's the biggest platform that the Democrats have is, um, if we want you if you feel that there's injustice, we'll make you feel like we're gonna give you some justice. If you feel that you're downtrodden or you're a victim, it's all about the victimhood. It's all about like the identity politics. It's all about race. It's all about that kind of thing. That's the thing. That's the big platform that the Democrats have that the Republicans have never really been able to master that much. But they're getting some inroads in that too, because the polls that you look at for like Black vote and Latino vote and things like that, you're seeing some interesting numbers that the Republicans, conservatives, and Trump specifically, they're making some inroads in that. So there's some fascinating, like if you're a political scientist, these are some fascinating times. I mean, ever since Trump ran from in 2016 to now, they've been rather fascinating times because every political scientist was basically blown out of the water. All their political theory was just proven incorrect. All their predictions that they were making was just proven to be absolute fiction. So it's interesting to see how this all plays out. And it's interesting to see how all this history that they rely on when it comes to these political trends and how different demographics are, interact with different parties and different ideologies. It's showing that a lot of that is really all up for grabs in a sense. It's not, I mean, it's not all up for grabs, but there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of that going on here. And you're seeing some shifts and you're seeing some ideological changes. You're seeing like the walk away movement is actually gaining traction. You're seeing Latinos for Trump gaining some traction here. You're seeing gays for Trump gaining some traction here. So it's very fascinating to see this kind of stuff. I at least find it incredibly fascinating. And I would love to see, I would love to see some more accurate numbers. That is what I would love to see, but unfortunately, the pollsters aren't gonna be honest. They haven't been. So you just got to go with what the data is that's available to you and kind of make your best guess. And I'm no political scientist myself, so I have to go with just the data that I see before me and kind of, and based off of what I've seen, just do what I can do to see if there's any inkling in the crystal ball about what's going to happen, so to speak. So who knows what's going to happen here. All indications though to me point to a victory for Trump, but as I usually say with my send off, don't be complacent. Nothing is for sure, nothing is guaranteed, nothing's written in stone. So people need to get out there. Register people. People need to push conservative points of view, in my opinion. That this is actually something I was thinking about, because Crowder, I was watching a video by Steven Crowder recently, because I haven't watched him in quite a while, so I thought I'd catch up to see what his takes on a few things, just out of curiosity. And he was talking about some people have told him to get into politics, and he said that he doesn't want to get into politics. He doesn't think it's a good idea. He doesn't think that you can do any real change if you go into politics, but only if he said if you were to go into politics, he would go into more like local politics, mayor, governor, things like that. Maybe not even governor. He was saying mayor, maybe. And I agree with him somewhat that that's where you have more influence on the ground changes for like localized areas. Here's the thing though. I feel that once you go into politics, the changes that you can implement are limited, because you're going to be caught in a world of optics. And you're going to be caught in a world of, it's basically all smoke and mirrors. It's wordplay, it's manipulation of the media. There's all sorts of things that happen once you enter the political sphere of influence. as an elected official, as an insider, as someone who is a politician. If you enter the political sphere as an outsider, someone who's an outsider looking in and can basically speak with near impunity, like someone like myself, I don't have a large audience, I admit that. But someone like Crowder, or someone like Ben Shapiro, or someone like what's his name? Paul Joseph Watson, and Alex Jones, and Tucker Carlson. I'm just naming off people on the right, but even on the left, like the Young Turks, and John Oliver, and Jon Stewart, and Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, things like that. I think that those people that are political talking heads and pundits and political pontificators, I actually feel that they have more power. I feel that there's a more power in the hands of people that push political policy, because the power that they have is the power to influence. It's the power to use ideas to push for certain changes, which on both sides of the aisle can be very powerful. I mean, that's essentially what has happened on the left. That's essentially what has happened since the 1960s, with academia influencing generation upon generation, infiltrating them, pushing this socialist ideology, pushing the rewriting of history of our country, pushing this whole narrative of we're an evil country, that this country, that there's these privileges that only certain groups have, or certain genders have, or certain ethnicities have, things of that nature. This has been an ongoing battle, and the conservative side is woefully behind. This is the problem. Now, in the past maybe 20 years, maybe less, but in the past 20 years or so, I would say is now conservatives are starting to wake up. Conservatives are starting to realize what's going on. And I don't know if it's too late or not, but I do think that there is at least a possibility of things getting on track. Like I said before, I feel that we are reaching an impasse in this country. We are reaching an impasse where our identity is at stake. What makes America America is at stake. I don't think America should be another Europe. I don't think that our identity should be completely removed. I don't think our history needs to be deleted. I don't think that our history needs to be rewritten. I don't think that whatever happened in the past, be it good, bad, evil, moral, I don't think that we should pick and choose with our modern sensibilities and say, this is the stuff that we should only look at, and this is the stuff that we should just cancel from existence. Because whatever happened in the past is what made us today. And there's a lot of good that we have today. There's a lot of positive that we have today. There's a lot of prosperity that we have today. The United States offers to people something that no country has ever offered. The level of prosperity and growth that you can experience here in the United States is nearly unheard of in other countries. it doesn't give that sort of access to people. That like the level of social strata that you can cross into in the United States is something that's relatively unique to the United States. It's not that you can't become rich in other countries. Sure, you can. But the United States somehow, I mean, from one generation to the next, you can go from blue collar to white collar in one generation. That's the kind of unique thing about America. That's kind of the American dream about America. That's the thing that makes America somewhat unique in terms of its economic structures, its social structures, its financial systems, all that kind of stuff. The kind of philosophies and structures that are built in the United States really open things up that it's easy in a way. I mean, you have to work at it. It's not like it's just given to you. You need to work at it. But the opportunities are there. And if someone seeks it, most likely you can succeed. You can move ahead. You can like I said, go from a blue collar to a white collar job. You can have people you can switch careers like that and quickly go from one career to another, and you can be very innovative here. This is the other thing. It's a lot easier to open a business in the United States than it is in other countries. Alex Chat is saying Alex Jones needs to run for local office. He would win. Possibly, depending on where he runs. Yeah. Well, I don't even know what state he's from actually. Well, what state is Alex Jones from? I don't know much about Alex Jones except that his show always seems to me like a giant infomercial from the very few clips I've seen. I don't. He's always selling all these like supplements and crazy toothpastes and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. He has this I mean I understand that's how he's able to survive. So I get that he pushes all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. Like his show really seems to me that all he's trying to do is sell stuff. But I'm pretty sure that if he ran at the right spot, he could win in the right locations. He probably could, but I don't think he wants to. Because I think that he feels the same way, kind of like I do, when it comes to you can exert more influence as an outsider. I think you can be more daring as an outsider. You can speak with less restrictions. So I think that if people feel that they can do some positive change in politics, I say, yeah, you could. I personally feel that it's at least for someone even like myself. I don't think I'd ever want to get into politics per se because I don't see it as a way to really implement the changes that I feel need to be made. I think that a growing the conscious of a community, even as large scale as a nation, through the voicing of ideas, I think that could really, really influence people. Because if enough voices cry out in the desert, it's going to get heard eventually. And I think that's where the key lies. So I think with that, we'll conclude today's stream. I want to thank everybody for watching. We're gonna do the Abyss AM edition tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. Perhaps 9:30, but I'm shooting for between 9:30 and 10 a.m. We're gonna go with that. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening to me, and I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. Whoop! Hold up. I clicked the wrong thingy do. I wasn't ready to quite conclude at that moment. I just got to do one quick thing here. I got to give off my usual send-off. And I want to say, as usual, don't be complacent. Get out there. Don't assume anything. You got to do the legwork. We're all in this together, so to speak. So we need to make this work. Have a wonderful night, everybody, and I will catch you tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time, about 9:30 to 10 a.m. Have a great night.